You wake up on a patch of green grass with three simple tools. The sun is bright and the music is happy, but danger is everywhere. Most modern games would give you a long tutorial with many boring pop-ups. Terraria lets you explore and learn the hard way through your own actions. This simple start hides one of the best progression systems ever made by humans. We are going to dive deep into why this game feels so special. You will see how a tiny pixel game beats billion-dollar budget titles. The secret lies in how the game rewards every single small action taken. Every block you mine feels like it is leading toward a much bigger goal. Think back to the first time you found a shiny chest in a cave. That rush of joy is something many big developers have forgotten how to create. They focus on skins and battle passes while Terraria focuses on actual player power. You do not just get a tiny damage boost in this pixel world. You get a sword that shoots stars or a staff that summons dragons. The scale of power in this game is truly something to behold and enjoy. Let us look at the early game and how it hooks you away. You start with a copper short sword that is barely useful for killing small slimes. You feel weak, and the night is a scary time for your new character. This weakness is important because it makes every new item feel very meaningful indeed. When you find your first lead or iron ore, you feel a real change. Crafting a full set of metal armor makes you feel much safer in caves. Modern games often scale enemies to match your level, which ruins the fun feeling. In those games, you never truly feel stronger than the monsters around your path. Terraria never does that because it wants you to feel like a powerful god. If you go back to the forest in late game, you are truly unstoppable. That sense of growth is what keeps players coming back for thousands of hours. Most modern titles use numbers to show progress instead of changing the actual gameplay. They might give you a sword that does 10% more damage than before. In Terraria, a new weapon might change how you attack the enemies entirely. You might go from a slow swing to a fast projectile that hits many. Every boss you defeat opens up a whole new layer of the world map. Killing the Eye of Cthulhu gives you ore to make much better equipment. This creates a loop where every victory provides the tools for the next fight. You are never just grinding for the sake of seeing a bigger number appear. You are grinding because you want to see what the next cool item does. Have you ever noticed how the world itself changes as you get much stronger? The biomes are not just backgrounds because they are active parts of your journey. The jungle is a wall that stops you until you have the right gear. Going there too early is a death sentence that teaches you a hard lesson. This organic wall is much better than an invisible barrier or a locked door. It invites you to prepare and return when you are ready to conquer it. The game treats you like an adult who can solve problems without constant help. Many modern games hold your hand so much that you feel like a passenger. In this world, you are the driver and every choice belongs to you alone. You can choose to build a massive base or dig to the very bottom. Both paths lead to progress because the game respects your time and your effort. Think about the first time you found a pair of shiny Hermes boots. Suddenly you are running fast, and the world feels much smaller than it was. This is not just a stat change because it changes how you play entirely. You can dodge attacks better and explore the map at a much faster pace. Most games would make you pay for that kind of mobility in a shop. Here you find it by exploring the dark corners of the deep underground world. The discovery of a cloud in a bottle is another huge moment of change. Now you can double jump and reach heights that were once totally impossible before. These items are the heart of why the progression feels so satisfying and deep. They are not just loot because they are keys to a new way of living. Let us talk about the transition into the famous and scary hard mode stage now. Most games would end after you beat a giant wall made of human flesh. Terraria says the game is actually just beginning at this very specific point. The entire world gets harder and new biomes start to spread across the land. This could be frustrating, but the game gives you amazing new tools to cope. You get access to wings, and suddenly the entire game becomes a vertical battle. This shift is so bold and brave that most developers would never try it. It keeps the experience fresh, just when you think you have seen it all. You are no longer just running on the ground like a common little peasant. You are flying through the air and fighting monsters that shoot laser beams at you. The scale of the game triples in size and complexity in a single moment. This is how you keep a player engaged for hundreds of hours without any boredom. Every new ore you find in hard mode requires a better pickaxe to mine properly. This creates a clear path that is easy to follow but hard to master. You need to fight the mechanical bosses to unlock the next tier of metal. Each boss is a skill check that asks if you have learned the mechanics. They are not just health sponges that take a long time to kill slowly. They have patterns that you must learn if you want to survive the night. Modern games often make bosses feel like chores that you have to finish quickly. In Terraria, a boss fight is an event that you prepare for with care. You build arenas and place campfires to give yourself every possible small advantage. This preparation is half the fun because it makes the victory feel very earned. You did not just win because your level was high enough for the fight. You won because you built a strategy and used your tools very wisely indeed. This brings us to the topic of class variety and how it helps progression. You can be a warrior or a ranger, or a mage or a summoner. Each class feels different and has its own unique path through the entire game. A mage needs mana stars while a warrior needs high defense and heavy armor. This adds a huge amount of replay value that most modern games lack today. You can play the game 4 times and have a different experience each time. Most big games today try to let you do everything on one single character. This sounds good, but it often makes your choices feel very hollow and weak. When you commit to a class in Terraria, you feel like a specialist expert. You seek out specific items that complement your chosen style of play and combat. This makes the loot you find feel much more personal and important to you. Finding a magic weapon as a mage feels like winning the literal lottery jackpot. If every item was useful for everyone, then no item would feel truly special. The game understands that limits actually make the rewards feel much more valuable to us. Let us pause and think about the crafting system for a quick minute here. There are thousands of items, and many of them combine into even better things. The cell phone is a great example of a long-term goal for players. It requires many small parts that you collect over a very long period of time. Each part is useful on its own, but the final result is truly amazing. This gives you something to work toward even when you are not fighting bosses. It rewards the players who pay attention and explore every part of the system. Most games have crafting that feels like a boring menu you click through fast. In this game, crafting is a journey that spans your entire time in the world. You keep old items because they might be needed for a powerful late-game tool. This makes the entire world feel connected in a way that is very rare. Your early copper might be gone, but your early accessories stay with you forever. The Ankh shield is another legendary item that requires a massive amount of effort. You have to hunt many different enemies to get all the tiny little pieces. When you finally craft it, you feel like you have achieved something truly great. This is the kind of depth that keeps a community alive for many years. People share their stories of finding that one rare drop they needed so badly. It creates a shared experience that is built on struggle and final glorious triumph. Modern games often give you everything too fast because they fear you will quit. Terraria knows that the struggle is what makes the final reward feel so good. If you could fly on day 1, then the wings would not be special. Because you walked for 10 hours, the wings feel like a gift from heaven. This pacing is masterfully done and shows a deep understanding of human psychology and fun. The developers do not treat the players like they have a short attention span. They trust you to find your own way and set your own personal goals. This trust creates a bond between the player and the game that is strong. You feel like you are exploring a real place that does not care about you. You have to force the world to respect you by getting stronger and smarter. The environmental storytelling is another part of the progression that people often forget to mention. You see the corruption spreading, and you know you must stop it from taking over. This gives you a reason to play that is not just about getting loot. You are protecting your home and the people who live in your many houses. The NPCs are not just shopkeepers because they have names and their own lives. They move in when you meet certain goals, which makes your base feel alive. Seeing a full town feels like a visual representation of how far you came. You started with a wooden shack, and now you have a bustling city full. This visual growth is just as important as the stats on your player armor. It shows that you have made a mark on the world and changed it. Most modern games have static worlds that never change no matter what you do. In Terraria, your actions have consequences that you can see with your own eyes. You can blow up mountains or build massive towers that reach the very stars. This freedom is the ultimate form of progression in any sandbox game ever made. You are not just following a story because you are writing your own story. Every hole in the ground is a memory of a treasure hunt you took. Every platform in the sky is a memory of a hard boss you fought. This connection to the world is why the game stays on your hard drive. You do not just finish Terraria and move on to the next big thing. You stay because the world you built is yours and you are its king. The endgame progression is the final piece of this very complex and beautiful puzzle. The lunar events are a massive spike in difficulty that tests everything you learned. You have to fight 4 different pillars that each have their own unique enemies. This forces you to use every tool and trick you have gathered so far. It is a grand finale that feels epic and earned by your hard work. When the Moon Lord finally arrives, you know this is the ultimate test of skill. Beating him does not just give you loot, because it gives you ultimate power. You get weapons that can clear the entire screen of enemies in one click. This is the perfect end to the zero to hero journey you started earlier. You are no longer the person who struggled to kill a single small slime. You are a cosmic being that can challenge the very gods of the world. Most games fail at the end because they do not know how to finish. Terraria finishes by letting you become the most powerful thing in the entire universe. It lets you enjoy your power before you decide to start a new world. This is why the game is a masterpiece of design and progression for everyone. It respects your time and rewards your effort and gives you total creative freedom. We should look at how other games could learn from this simple pixel world. They should stop focusing on graphics and start focusing on the core gameplay loops. They should give players tools that change the game instead of just tiny numbers. They should trust players to find their own fun in a world with rules. Terraria is a shining example of what happens when developers love their own work. They have added content for over a decade without asking for more of your money. This generosity has created a loyal fan base that will play the game forever. The progression system is the heart of that loyalty and the soul of the game. It is a journey that feels personal and epic and rewarding at every single step. If you have not played it lately, you should go back and start over. You will find that the magic is still there and waiting for you again. The world is waiting for a new hero to rise from the green grass. Grab your copper short sword and start digging into the dark and deep earth below. You never know what amazing treasures you might find in the next dark cave. The journey is long, but every single step is worth the effort you give. That is the true secret of why Terraria feels so much better than most. It is not just a game because it is a world of endless growth. Thank you for listening to this deep dive into the world of amazing pixels. Keep digging and keep building, and most importantly, keep having a lot of fun. Your next great adventure is only a few blocks away from your current position.